for sponsors. Amp2.tv presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on amp2.tv. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jackie Birch, and welcome to Tell Us Your Biz. Thank you so much for tuning in. And let me just say, being somebody from Long Island, you think that you can appreciate traffic, you could appreciate waiting in your car for a half hour plus, but I'm telling you, nothing compares to traffic in South Florida. So if you guys are in your car right now and you're listening and you're stuck in traffic, I feel your pain. So funny because I come in here and it's so different being on this side of the camera in this production studio because I'm usually helping Freddie with the production, but it is so great to be here. I'm so excited to just talk to you about something that I'm passionate about. A little background about myself. I'm from Long Island. I moved to South Florida about a year ago now, and I've been living in Delray. And I've been working with the Brooklyn Cafe TV for a year in September, so that's coming up. And honestly, what can I say is just I've never met a better group of people. I've never thought in my entire life that I can move down here at such a young age on my own and still feel like at home when I'm with them. So shout out to the Brooklyn Cafe TV. So basically what I want to talk to you guys about today is social media. I think that I'm really passionate about it. And I think that there's so many opportunity for social media to be such a great ground for people who want to build businesses, people who meet people. I mean, for example, when I went to college, that's how I met my roommate. I met her on Facebook and, you know, we hit it off and everything. Talk about dating sites and keeping up with news, and even Mr. President is using Twitter and social media. So I think that it's really great. I think that it gets a lot of, I guess, bad energy towards it just because of everything that it can be, but something we should all look at is something that it is and something that it can be in the same aspect. You know, it's funny because I lost my phone, so I've been phoneless for the whole weekend and today, and I've never felt better. I've never felt better. I don't have to check my Instagram, my Facebook. I'm not getting notifications. But, you know, I mean, we're not talking about phones, we're talking about social media, and I do miss my phone because Dawn and Freddie thought that I was sick of them today when they were trying to contact me. But I'm not, of course. So let's talk about social media. For myself, somebody that grew up in the generation that really saw the evolution of it. I saw Instagram come about and Instagram grow and Twitter grow, and I didn't see Facebook get started, but I did see it grow. And it's so interesting to me because when I first got an Instagram, I think I had like 6 followers, and I remember going into my mom's room and being like, "Mom, look, I'm so popular. Like, this is so great." And I think that it's just really transitioned into what everybody else thinks about you. I think that the main issue with social media is that everybody worries too much about what Bobby's posting and what Jenny's going to post. And if Bobby saw my post and if I saw Jenny's post, I think that it's really difficult to have somebody on social media and be active and not worry about how many likes you're getting and not worry about how many comments you're getting. But we don't realize how much this is taking our thoughts and making us feel bad. It's ruining our self-esteem. And look, I'm not perfect either. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a coach. I'm not anything. It's just something that I'm passionate about. And I think that we need to make a change for our generation and for what's to come. So why not start using our platform, whatever we're doing, and do something great with it? So yeah, I think that comparing ourselves is another huge thing that I'm guilty of, that I'm sure you're guilty of, and it's okay. But we need to do things more so in a healthy manner. So going on Instagram 50 times a day, checking. I think now you can see if somebody's active on it and the last time they were active on it, and seeing that and stalking that, it's becoming just too much. It's becoming something that we're so consumed in. And, it's distracting us when we're driving, when we're going to school, when we're at work. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You always somehow find a time to check. And so comparing ourselves, I think that, when you see somebody in Madrid and you see someone in California and you're sitting on your couch in South Florida or wherever you are in the world, there is a little part of you that feels kind of disappointed in maybe where your life is at, maybe that you're not on that trip, or, but what people post isn't real. It's all about the highlights. And I'm to blame for it too. I'll post about my trip to Puerto Rico with all my friends, but you didn't see me on the airplane having an anxiety attack because I don't like to fly. You saw us getting drinks by the pool and hanging out by the beach and seeing all these cool things and going to this club. I think that everybody's a victim of it. And especially for myself, I like to talk about myself a lot. That's a background thing, just because I want to show everybody, like, no one's perfect. And, I've gone through things where I tell people I hate when people do this. And, you have to practice what you preach, but it's not very easy. And so a reason why I'm going to refer to myself a lot is because I've been there and I don't think I'm perfect. And I don't want to come off as somebody who is telling you all what to do because I got it all under. So, yeah, I like to compare myself because in my relationships, romantically or friendships, they look different online than the way that they actually are. My best friend and I don't live in the same state, but I have pictures of us from 2 months ago when we were in the same state that I can still post, and, it's not real. Also, moving down here to Florida alone, it gave everybody back on Long Island, an image of, oh, great, she's got her life figured out. She's going to do everything. I see her on Instagram. I see her on Snapchat. She's living on her own. She's doing everything that she can, and she's living her best life. And, it's more complicated than that. You don't post the bills that you have to pay every month. You don't post rent. You don't post that you have to work when you're feeling like you're going to throw up some days, So all that is bad with social media, and I think that everybody's really familiar with it. There is stuff that is so good with it. I think that it is such a great place for people with influence on others, so like celebrities or high businesses, to use it and to make a difference and to help a cause and to just shed a light on some things that people are going through. Like I said, no one is perfect, but it just takes everybody to realize that to feel a little bit better. For example, I love him so much. He is my favorite actor, Leonardo DiCaprio. And I always say, I'm like, I'm going to talk about him, I'm going to talk about him, I'm going to talk about him until the day that I meet him and can prove to him how much I've always loved him. Leonardo DiCaprio, I think he's such a great influence for everyone. I mean, I think that he's cool for people in the older generations and my parents' generations, and for the millennials, because he's still around. And you know what? He's exposing some real life issues on social media. He's not posting about the great movie premiere that he just had at Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was a great movie. I suggest you go see it. He's posting about climate change, and I think that climate change is something that's becoming really spoken about. I mean, even in Delray Beach, Miami, there's paper straws everywhere that we go, and it's little things like that that are going to help make a difference. Also, I think that it's really great for when you're trying to start a business. I think from personal experience, my sister, she does esthetician, and she's great at it, but it's very challenging to get started, even though how great your work is. And I've gotten to see that side of social media from a personal standpoint, and it's hard, but it's so great because she's gotten so many clients just from posting on Instagram and posting quotes that people like, and you click on the page and it brings you here. And it's so easy to get lost on social media. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I mean, I can spend my mornings just scrolling through and seeing whatever I want to see. As an active sports fan, I like to keep up with my favorite teams. I'm a New York Rangers fan because I am from New York. But it's cool. Like, it could be so great. You get to see the world when you're sitting on your couch. It gives you a little bit of a look in what other people's lifestyles are and what everybody is doing, especially with culture change. My Monday is different than a Monday in Spain or a Monday in Turkey. It's something different. If you have any questions or if you want to add something, I would love, love, love to hear from you. Call 888-565-1470 to get on the radio. I want to hear your voice. You have a voice too, guys. Let's use it. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. I have been taught that saying since I can speak. And as you get older and as you're living and you're trying to make a life for yourself, and it comes with a lot of comparing about yourself and others. And you find a role model, and I think role models are so great, but when it becomes a little unhealthy is when you're sitting there at night and you're saying, I wish I was them. I wish I had the life that they do. And the grass isn't always greener on the other side. When you wish to be somebody because of what good they have, you're also going to take on all the things that they have that you don't want. You're going to take on the fact that they're struggling with bills to pay, with the debt that they have, with everything that makes them human. So that's when it becomes a little unhealthy. We are going to go to a commercial break. I want to hear you call in. So 888-565-1470. Stay tuned.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would just listen? It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have the platform to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 80800. That's CAFE to 80800.
You are listening to Tell Us Your Business, where our invited guests share all the knowledge of their business and how important it is what they do in our community. If you want to be part of the conversation, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and tell us what's on your mind. Now, back to Tell Us Your Business.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tell Us Your Biz. I am your host, Jackie Birch, and you heard the guy on the radio. Call in at 888-565-1470, whether you're home on your couch or you're stuck in traffic, whether you're trying to get home to your kids or get home to your boyfriend, whatever. I want to hear from you. I want to hear about you. Another thing that I want to bring up that we talked about in the first section before the commercial is comparing yourselves. I think that coming into a new relationship, you do compare. I compared myself with other people that have been in relationships for a long, long time. You think, am I moving too fast? Am I moving too slow? But let's move towards the different types of social media, and let's talk about how it impacts dating. I think dating is a great thing, and everybody should get out there and do it. There's so many people to meet, and if you have someone, then grab them and love them and never let them go. So social media and dating, this is where everyone is meeting each other these days. Millennials, if you couldn't get any more millennial, now you can. It's so funny to me when I speak to people in the older generations and they talk to me about dating online. They say, I've done it, but I've done Match and I've done this. You guys swipe right or swipe left. And it's so true. It is so true. I never had one of those dating sites. I always found that I did better meeting somebody outside of my phone. Not that there's anything better with that or anything wrong with it. It makes everybody's different. One thing that I just was so curious on was when you meet somebody on social media, you're meeting them based off of their looks. That was my first red flag with it. However, someone completely turned my mind over because they said that there's a few dating apps and everything that you can comment. And when you comment, you meet somebody. So, like there's so many great things that can come with it. But, going back to comparing your relationships, it's the same thing as comparing yourselves. If you're going to compare yourself and you're going to compare your relationships to everybody else's, you're never going to be satisfied. I listened to a podcast, and I think that one of the best things that I really have ever heard in my life and can really take on was there's always going to be somebody prettier, there's always going to be somebody funnier, and there's always going to be someone nicer than you, but it doesn't make them better. And with comparing on social media, you tend to think that everybody out there is better, but no one's better than you, You have a platform, whether you are a girl from Ohio or a guy from Los Angeles, and no matter how many followers that you have, I think that it's really important to know that you have a voice. You have a voice, and your voice deserves to be heard. Speaking from somebody that's gone through a lot with social media and just life. I mean, life is tiring, and it's hard when you have a bad day and you feel like you can't get 5 minutes of just relaxation. And because that's not how life works. Life doesn't give you any time to relax. But going on Instagram after a long day, it makes you feel like everyone else is living a better life. And it's not true. I think it's really difficult these days to kind of just live your life on social media. You see a lot of these influencers now that are saying, they're normal people, and it just took them a certain picture to post to get recognized. I think that with the younger generations, my niece just got a Instagram, and it makes me want to cry just because I remember when she was a baby, and now she's following what I'm doing and I'm following what she's doing, and we're replying to each other's stories, and I'm Lana, just pick up the phone. But I think that it's really important to not shelter children from social media. They're going to get curious and they're going to find a way to get on it. And I think it's really important to expose them rather than shelter them, because the more you show them what they're not missing out on, the less they're going to feel like they are missing out on something, and the less they're going to try to get on it and feel like they're better because of it. I saw with her and my sister, it was a constant battle with, should I give it to her? Should I not give it to her? Finally, she caved in. She's 12 years old, and my niece just uses it as the same way I used to use it. And it's funny to look at it. She'll post a picture of her surfing, and she hashtags surfing, and she loves it. And someone compared to her, my age and her, I'm going out and I'm posting a picture at the beach that's a little different than hers, and I'm not hashtagging. It's different. It's so different. And social media when you're young can be kind of dangerous just because you're exposed to so much. You see it all, which obviously is a good thing, but can be a little dangerous just because, they're still kids. I see my niece grow up so much quicker than I grew up just because of social media. And when she comes home from school, it's very different than the way that I used to come home from school. I used to come home from school, do my homework, go ride my bike around the block till it was dark. And they're very active kids, but they come home from school and they're talking about what meme they found funny today and the picture that they took of their friends at lunch. And it's just different. But I'm a strong believer in history repeats itself, just in different ways. So I can't even imagine what it's going to be like when I have children and I'm talking to them about social media and everything that I went through in my life with it and why I think it's good and why I think it's bad. But, it doesn't make you less of a person if you don't have it. And I know so many people that don't have it and still live very social lifestyles that have boyfriends and have girlfriends and get by. It doesn't make you any less. And to be completely honest, shout out to those people, because without a phone for the weekend and today, I feel great. I feel so good. You're not tempted to see what Alexa's posting and what Jenny's posting. You're not tempted. You're not tempted to compare yourself. And I think that it's funny when you talk to other people about it, because then the whole thing comes up with, did you stalk him? Did you stalk your friend? Did you stalk your ex? And everyone's guilty of it. Everyone's guilty of it, but it's not healthy. So why do it? I think that when you do stalk, if you will, your ex and you see them with a new girl, what is that going to do for you? Get back out there. You got it. Um, it just goes to show that no one's better than you. And just because they're in Greece and we're in South Florida, let's still make South Florida great. It is a great place. But yeah, basically that's something that I'm really passionate about. Being so young and moving states and being alone, it really, really taught me a lot. It was a big learning lesson, especially with social media, but I'm going to kind of steer away from it just because, we just spent 20 minutes talking about it. I think that it really opened my eyes to see everything else that's out there. And, being back on Long Island and living the way I used to live, I saw the world through social media. So I get it. I get how addicting it is. I get how fun it is. And I get how cool it is. You get to see so many things. But being someone who now is sometimes too busy to go on it during the day, when you get out there and you live your own life, you see just as much as you're seeing on social media, just in different forms. You learn a lot about yourself, and the things that I post on social media are fun, but nobody sees me at home trying to get off the couch and go work out, and they just see me at the gym, and nobody sees that I need to pay rent next month and I'm really stressed out about it, and nobody sees me oversleeping sometimes when I should have been up and should have been cleaning my apartment or something, doing something productive. But I think that the best thing that someone can learn from this whole thing, and just a takeaway from this show today, is get out there and live your own life. If you want to go to dinner alone. You don't have to post about it. You don't have to feel weird about going to dinner alone. You don't have to post about every little thing on your life, and it will make you that much happier. Being somebody now that is a little too busy sometimes to even check up on my social media, I feel so much more calm. And I still see my best friends, glued to their phones and glued to see what they're doing and what their friends are doing. And it always leads to disappointment, in my opinion. Or if it doesn't, it's just something extra that you have to keep up with. And, it's not to say that when I get my phone back, I'm not going to be on social media, because I am. I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not going to sit here and say anything that's not true. But, it's just everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. That was a saying that I learned when I was started to work out. My mom told me everything in moderation, but everything in moderation can be applied to everything in your life, whether it's food, whether it's running, whether it's social media, or whether it's work. You have to take care of you first. And it's difficult these days, especially to take care of you and to put yourself first, because it's easily misconstrued as being selfish, but it's not. And, it's necessary. And sometimes being selfish isn't a bad thing. And when you're young and when you're transitioning into what the life that you're going to have, you need to be a little selfish. You need to say, no, I don't want to do that. And no, I don't want to post that. And no, I'm not going to say that. And I think that I said it before, everybody has a voice. Like, let's hear your voice. No matter what you do, no matter if you're a CEO in a company or you run a radio show, everybody has a voice, and speak your truth. But yeah, I think that really sums it up. I mean, it's been so great going to college and seeing how background. I go to Lynn University, and it is a really up-to-date college. It's really technical, and I never was good with technology, and just seeing how it works, and they use social media a lot. And I took a social media course last semester, and I learned a lot, and it was just pinpointing the benefits of it and how to use it effectively. And I don't think it's something that we should shy away from anymore. If you want to use social media, you do it, but everything in moderation, and just be aware of everything that you're putting out there and you're putting out about yourself, and do everything in a healthy balance. I think that balance is something that everybody needs to learn as well. So we only have 2 more minutes. If you want to call in and get your voice heard at the last 2 minutes at 888-565-1470. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Jackie Birch, and you'll see me on the Brooklyn Cafe TV Mondays through Fridays. I really do. I couldn't have imagined coming to Florida and given all the opportunity that I have gotten just from being with the Brooklyn Cafe. I think that it just goes to show, if you want something, go get it. You want to be heard, speak, and you want to do something, do it. And don't hold back, and let's make a change together. Let's be the change. Let's teach our kids how to be the change too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're stuck in traffic, hang in. You're almost home, and then when you're home, you can go to bed. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Jackie Birch, and have a wonderful, wonderful Monday night.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an amp2.tv production.